Every man knows the fear, even if he never says it out loud. The fear of waking up one day and realizing his woman's heart, her attention, maybe even her loyalty, isn't his anymore. And the cruel truth? It rarely happens the way men imagine. It's not some random player sweeping her off her feet. It's the men hiding in plain sight. The ones who look safe, who look harmless, but slowly slip into her emotions when you're not paying attention. Once that happens, her mind, her energy, and eventually her body begin to follow. And when you lose that, it's not just about losing her. It's about losing your respect, your pride, and your grip on the relationship. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 5 types of men most likely to cross that line with your woman, and the psychology you must understand to make sure it never happens to you. Number 1, the gym guy. When it comes to female psychology, the gym guy is one of the easiest men to underestimate. Most men assume he's just another fitness enthusiast or personal trainer, but the truth runs much deeper. The gym environment itself plays a powerful role in shaping attraction. Women enter that space with heightened awareness of their own body, surrounded by mirrors, music, and energy that makes them more conscious of how they look and how they are perceived. When she sees a man who is disciplined, strong, and visibly taking care of his body, it subconsciously signals dominance, health, and protective strength. These are primal triggers that activate without her even realizing it. The interaction becomes even riskier when he is not just another member, but someone who guides her through workouts, corrects her posture, or demonstrates exercises. The subtle touches, the attention he gives, and the encouragement he provides all add layers of intimacy that can bypass logical thinking. Unlike casual social interactions, gym sessions are physically engaging. Sweating, heavy breathing, and body contact create an environment that mimics intimacy, and the brain often cannot separate the two. To her, it feels like he understands her discipline, her goals, and her physical challenges, and that shared experience can quickly build emotional chemistry. Another hidden aspect is admiration. Women often associate men who are consistent in the gym with willpower, control, and masculine energy. While she may only say, "He's just my trainer," or "He's just a guy from the gym," the truth is, those small acknowledgments plant seeds of attraction. It's not always about looks alone, but about the impression of commitment, strength, and reliability that the gym guy projects every single time she sees him. And the more consistent the interaction, the stronger that impression becomes. This risk heightens when her own partner is absent in that environment. If she trains while he doesn't, the gym guy naturally becomes the masculine presence she associates with progress and motivation. She sees him pushing limits, celebrating wins, and showing results, while her partner remains outside that world. In psychology, this creates a phenomenon known as mirroring desire. She unconsciously aligns attraction with the man who shares her effort and her sweat. Over time, this can shift into subtle admiration that easily crosses into temptation. The danger lies in how normalized this relationship feels. Society frames it as harmless, working out, training, fitness. But underneath, biology and psychology are quietly building connections through touch, trust, and shared discipline. What looks like routine exercise is, in reality, a fertile ground for boundaries to blur. Number 2, the bartender or DJ. In the psychology of attraction, the bartender or DJ represents a type of man who doesn't need to chase women directly because the environment does the work for him. A bar or nightclub is designed to lower inhibitions, amplify emotions, and create an escape from the ordinary routines of life. When a woman enters this atmosphere, she is already more open to adventure, fun, and spontaneous connections. Add alcohol, loud music, dim lighting, and a crowd focused on enjoyment, and suddenly boundaries that exist in the daylight don't feel as strict anymore. The bartender and DJ occupy positions of power in this environment. The bartender has control over what she drinks, how much attention she receives, and how special he makes her feel. A free drink, a compliment, or remembering her name creates a spark that feels intimate, even though it may be repeated with dozens of women in the same night. From her perspective, however, it feels unique, personal, and validating. This triggers a psychological effect where she associates the bartender with confidence, charisma, and exclusivity. The DJ, on the other hand, manipulates the mood of the entire room. He isn't just playing music, he's controlling emotions. Every song shift creates waves of energy, anticipation, and release. When women dance, they aren't just responding to the music, but to the man orchestrating the entire experience. That kind of influence is magnetic, and without saying a word, the DJ becomes the man every woman is subconsciously attuned to. He appears untouchable, admired by many, which elevates his perceived value in the female mind. Another psychological layer is the concept of social proof. Both bartenders and DJs are surrounded by women, showing them attention. When a woman sees other women being drawn to the same man, it subconsciously validates his desirability. This effect intensifies in high-energy social settings, where everyone is chasing fun and excitement. Even if she came with her partner, the shift in environment can tilt her perception, making her momentarily more curious about the man who seems to embody control, confidence, and mystery. It's important to understand that this attraction isn't always based on looks or long-term qualities, but on timing, context, and state of mind. A woman who feels ignored, stressed, or undervalued may find herself especially vulnerable in these settings. The mix of alcohol, music, and social energy lowers her natural defenses and magnifies the impact of male attention. That's why bartenders and DJs have historically been seen as men who can easily cross lines with women who would normally stay loyal outside of that environment. Number 3, the wealthy businessman or corporate executive. When it comes to female psychology, status and security are powerful drivers of attraction, often stronger than most men realize. The wealthy businessman or corporate executive embodies both of these forces. His influence, his resources, and his command over situations project an image of authority and stability that women are biologically wired to notice. Even if she claims she is not materialistic, the subconscious pull toward a man with power is rooted in evolutionary psychology. Women associate status with protection, provision, and the ability to create a better future, and this makes the businessman an invisible competitor in relationships. The wealthy man doesn't have to pursue aggressively because his lifestyle speaks louder than words. When he invites her into his world, whether it's a fine dining restaurant, a business-class trip, or a high-profile event, it offers her a glimpse into an alternative reality. The shift is not only financial but emotional. She begins to feel a sense of privilege and importance simply by being around him. Psychology calls this environmental association, where the setting itself enhances the attractiveness of the person who provides it. He becomes linked in her mind with experiences she wouldn't normally access, and that bond is difficult to ignore. There is also the factor of ambition. A corporate executive radiates discipline, vision, and confidence, qualities that women instinctively admire. When she observes how others respect him, follow his lead, or value his decisions, it amplifies the perception that he is a man of influence. This is another form of social proof, but in a higher league compared to the bartender or the gym guy. Here, the admiration is not only from women, but from society at large, which makes his desirability even more powerful. What makes him a unique threat is how subtle the shift can be. He doesn't need to flirt in obvious ways because the structure of his life already acts as attraction. Gifts, opportunities, and exposure to luxury can slowly create an emotional dependency. She may justify it as networking, mentorship, or friendship, but beneath that, her psychology begins to link him with comfort, security, and status elevation. Over time, this can blur boundaries as she starts comparing her current partner's efforts with the ease and abundance the businessman provides. The danger is not always in immediate physical attraction, but in the slow psychological conditioning that makes her more open to his presence and less loyal to the stability she already has. Number 4, the male bestie, emotional supporter. Among all the types of men who can cross the line, the male bestie is often the most underestimated. While other men rely on physical presence, social status, or environmental influence, the best friend operates on a deeper and more subtle level: emotional intimacy. Female psychology is highly responsive to connection, validation, and being understood, and this is where the male bestie becomes a powerful figure in her life. Unlike casual acquaintances, he often knows her struggles, her disappointments, her dreams, and even the weaknesses in her relationship. Every conversation, every late-night chat, every moment where he just listens, chips away at the boundaries that separate friendship from something more. When a woman feels emotionally neglected or unheard by her partner, the male bestie steps in as the solution. He fills the gap without demanding anything in return, which makes him feel safe and trustworthy. In her mind, he becomes the one who truly sees her and values her feelings. Psychology identifies this as emotional transference, where the person who provides the emotional need begins to replace the one who should be fulfilling it. Over time, this emotional dependency creates a powerful bond that can rival or even surpass physical attraction. Another layer of risk lies in vulnerability. When she opens up about her frustrations, fights, or unmet desires, the best friend becomes her confidant. This creates a shared emotional world that her partner is excluded from, and that exclusion is dangerous. Once she associates him with comfort and relief, her mind begins to categorize him as more than just a friend. The transition can be so gradual that she convinces herself it is harmless, but the deeper the emotional intimacy grows, the thinner the line becomes between friendship and attraction. The male bestie also has an advantage that other men don't: time. He is often present before, during, and after relationships. This continuity makes him a constant figure, which builds familiarity and trust. Psychologically, women equate familiarity with safety, and safety often becomes a stepping stone to desire. Unlike the fleeting thrill of a bartender or the distant admiration of a wealthy man, the best friend is woven into her daily life, her emotions, and her personal story. That level of access makes him one of the most potent figures capable of shifting loyalty without her even realizing it. Number 5, the male therapist or counselor. The male therapist or counselor is one of the most complex figures in female psychology because the dynamic is built entirely on vulnerability and trust. Unlike casual social settings, the therapeutic space is designed for openness, honesty, and emotional release. When a woman sits across from a male therapist, she is encouraged to share her fears, insecurities, and hidden struggles without judgment. This process creates a powerful emotional connection because the therapist becomes the one man who not only hears everything, but also understands it in a structured and validating way. That sense of being deeply understood is intoxicating, especially for women who feel unseen in their personal relationships. The therapeutic relationship also establishes a strong imbalance of power. The therapist guides, reassures, and provides clarity at times when she feels confused or broken. That role of authority combined with empathy naturally increases his influence over her emotions. In psychology, this is referred to as transference, where the client unconsciously projects feelings onto the therapist: admiration, attachment, even romantic or sexual attraction. To her, he becomes more than a professional. He becomes the safe space, the anchor in moments of instability, and the man who seems to know her at a deeper level than anyone else. Unlike the gym guy or the bartender, this risk is not based on physical attraction or external charm. Instead, it develops internally as she ties her healing and self-discovery to his presence. Each breakthrough, each comforting word, and each piece of guidance links him more strongly to her sense of growth. Over time, this can distort boundaries, making her believe the connection is special or unique, when in reality it is a common psychological occurrence in counseling settings. The danger intensifies when her partner is absent from this emotional process. If she shares her inner world with a male therapist while her relationship remains shallow or conflict-driven, the contrast becomes undeniable. She may unconsciously start comparing her partner's inability to listen with the therapist's ability to provide understanding. That comparison strengthens her attachment, creating a space where the therapist becomes the standard against which she measures every other man. Even if the professional maintains boundaries, her own psychology may still experience the closeness as something more, opening the possibility of emotional loyalty shifting away from her relationship and toward the man who consistently validates and heals her.